Okay, so I just bought my flights to Japan, and when I checked my credit card statement in Chase, I saw this little pay over time button, and it made me wonder if I should click it or not. I mean, it's an expensive flight, so paying over time sounds pretty good, right? Well, after doing a bunch of research, I ended up not choosing to do it, and I'd like to tell you why. Hey everyone, I'm Neil, and welcome back to Roundup Save. If you're new to the channel, I started Roundup Save with my partner Jenna to help demystify money and financial independence. So a few years ago, Chase rolled out a buy now, pay later credit card payment option called My Chase Plan, where you can make equal monthly payments on purchases of $100 or more. There's no interest, and you can pay a fixed monthly fee until you pay off the charge. This fee and the payment schedule offered to you will typically range from 3 to 18 months, and it'll depend on things like the transaction amount, how often you pay your bill on time, and if you actually pay your bill in full or not, which, as a side note, you should generally try to do, and we'll get more into why. So here's how Chase explains how their My Chase Plan feature actually works. For example, according to Investopedia, say you had a transaction that was $690. You might have 3 different payment plan options and monthly fees that looks like this. But in my case, when I looked in the Chase portal, I actually was presented with payment plans with $0 monthly fees. And that caught my attention and made me curious about what the catch was. So yeah, I started doing some Googling. So to understand the catch, we need to take a quick detour. So most people know that paying your credit card bill on time will have a positive impact on your credit score. But what's less obvious and actually plays a very important factor in how your credit score gets calculated is something called credit utilization. Now, I get that term probably makes me sound like a finance bro, but it's actually a simple concept. Credit utilization means how much of your available credit limit you actually are using. So let's say you have a monthly credit limit of $5,000 and you buy a $1,000 television. Your credit card utilization in that case would be 20%. In general, it's widely recommended to keep your credit utilization under 30% as much as you can. Credit scores are improved with lower credit utilization because it signals to lenders that you're financially stable and can actually pay the loan back that you're trying to take out. For example, when you're looking to buy a new car or a new house. So actually getting back to understanding the catch of My Chase Plan. So if you were to extend a purchase over time, let's say, then it means you're actually using more of your credit utilization more often. Just because you're paying for a purchase over time, you don't magically free up your credit limit every month, right? Any outstanding balance will continue to go towards your credit utilization each month, which will ultimately have a negative impact on your credit score until it's fully paid off. Here's a fun thread on Reddit that I came across where somebody asked if their credit limit gets cleared up using My Chase Plan. So somebody on the thread asked, does this plan free up space on my credit limit? For example, if I buy something and max out my card and I choose My Chase Plan to pay over time, will it free up space so I can use my card again? Or what are the perks of using this plan? This is a good question. See, I don't get the point. My balance was $2,000 after I got this new TV. I started My Chase Plan and my balance is still $2,000. I figured it would remove the charge and then add a small charge each month. Seems totally pointless if you pay your balance every month. It says it takes a few days for the account balance to adjust. Did the space ever free up? Did it ever come off? Did it? Nope, I ended up just paying the credit card because I hated seeing the balance. Gave me a congrats on paying your plan email. All right, so now going back to the $1,000 TV purchase from before, let's say that you pay your credit card bill off in full the next day after you buy the TV. Your credit utilization was 20% and now it goes down to 0%. Congrats, you just paid off the TV. But let's say instead you decide to choose pay over time and you are given a payment plan over a 10-month period with no interest, and let's assume you're great at paying your bill off on time, so Chase isn't charging you a monthly fee. That would mean you would pay $100 each month for 10 months, right? My guess though is your credit utilization will go from 20% to 18% after you pay $100 in the first month to then 16% after you pay another $100 in the second month, and so on until you pay off the TV. Because your credit utilization is staying higher for a longer period of time, I would think that's going to be worse on your credit score to extend the purchase payment versus if you just paid it off in full and went from the 20% down to the 0%. So I will caveat that this is my best guess on how it works, but it seems to make sense. I actually tried calling Chase to confirm this, but they actually just said that Chase isn't a credit agency and wouldn't know. I think this would be something that Chase should include in their FAQs, because I would imagine that a lot of people are pretty eager to try this buy now, pay later feature that they're offering. But like we're discussing, there are consequences on your credit score to be aware of. It's probably going to be fine if you did this on small purchases that don't get you anywhere near that 30% utilization that we talked about earlier, but that kind of defeats the point, right? You shouldn't live beyond your means, and you should pay off your bill as soon as you can, period. Just because you're given a buy now, pay later option, that doesn't mean that you should do it. Not to mention, it can be a very slippery slope if you start developing the mindset that everything can be paid in installments with money you don't have right now. That thinking should be reserved for significant expenses like a home, a car, or education. My guy Melted Cheese Stick on Reddit put it best. As for perks, buy now, pay later isn't supposed to be a perk. In fact, it shouldn't exist at all. That's literally the job of the credit card itself. Pay off your balance every month, live within your means. By the way, what a tasty name. So here's a couple of tips and tricks. If buy now, pay later is in fact offered through a vendor that you're buying something through, that might actually be a better way to go than using something like my Chase plan. The reason is, in theory, it shouldn't affect your credit score, and I would imagine that it's better to pay in installments through the vendor, like a travel agency, if the payment plan is offered to you as a perk. For example, the travel agency that's managing the logistics for my trip to Japan offered a 3-month payment plan, and those charges would hit my Chase card over 3 months instead of being one big amount. Also, and this is a little separate from buy now, pay later, but it does impact your credit score, try to pay your credit card bill off more frequently to keep your credit utilization low. I'm definitely guilty of not following this, but it's something I'm trying to move toward. I usually pay my credit card bill off right before the due date, but I'm trying to start paying it off at least twice a month, so I'm far away from that 30% threshold as possible. Thanks so much for sticking around till the end of the video. I hope you learned something new, and I know I certainly did from doing some of the research for this video. Let me know if you have any questions, or feel free to leave a comment down below. Like and subscribe to Random Save for more content just like this, and until next time, take care and see you soon.